Hello everyone, ready for another art journal inspiration session. The sound quality this time was pretty poor, so I'm doing most of this as a voiceover. I've also speeded it up so that the overall length of the video will be shorter and easier to watch. So the challenge was to use an image on a page of an altered book or even a magazine and to create a piece with that. So I've chosen this owl, and I quite like this owl because I like the wings, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to blank out the middle bit and it's going to become an angel. At least that's the plan. At this stage I'm not sure what else I'm going to do on the page at all. Yes, I'm showing you there that it's clear gesso that I'm going to use, and I'm going to cover the whole page, and this will mean that when I put white gesso it should go on easier. So when you are using it, you'll see there's a sort of white haze, but don't worry about that because it will dry clear. And also not to freak out if the page starts to crinkle. I find it often does that, but that it usually dries pretty flat. Just try to keep an even layer. Now at this stage I'm doing something that I love to do with my journals, is to pick out random words, or not random. I choose words and I end up with a completely different meaning from the original text. And you'll see I'm just going around them in pencil, and that's so that I can see them clearly when I do the gessoing and make sure that I don't go over them. So I've picked out, and it says, hear the silent notes, listen for answers. And so that's starting to bring a theme about with the angel, and it goes quite nicely. And I'm pointing to the feathers because I'm going to probably outline them with pen, and so having the clear gesso will help the pen to take better when I do it. So that's another reason for having clear gesso over the image. As you can see, I've been over with white gesso and it's covered fairly well. I think I did 2 or even 3 coats over the black, and I've left the middle bit for the image. So I'm just thinking about colour now. Actually, I was feeling a bit anxious without colour. The page was all white, so I know that I've got to get a bit of colour on the page to get things moving. I've drawn the figure, as you can see, in pencil of the angel, just roughly really. And now, to ease my anxiety more than anything else, I'm just going to splash some colour on. I think the idea being that this is going to be light coming from the angel. Here I am just looking at the way my words are standing out in the white, and I'm quite liking that. I'm just looking at the page now and thinking how I'm going to make it into a picture because that's the thing, when you take an image from a page, you are limited by where it sits on the page, and I can still see the darkness of the back image, so I'm going to use that as a horizon line. And I think I'm going to draw, look, I've started drawing up, I'm going to make it into a tree, I think, and you'll see my composition grow. And here I've picked up a mid blue as well as Payne's grey. I tried the mid blue, and you'll see that I sort of paint over it in the end because I need it actually darker. And then I realised that what I could do is I could water down the Payne's grey, and that would give a nicer colour really. Also, another thing that I tried on this one was to see if I could create some patterns with a sort of watered down Payne's grey, which I sort of splodged on, and then you'll see in a minute that I get my tissue. Get my own bit of tissue and I can just dab it off randomly, and it creates quite a nice pattern under there. And I love the way that when it gets onto the white, it gives that beautiful kind of bluish grey colour that you get with Payne's grey. So now I'm splodging more on. I'm going to go over the yellow and just completely cover it really, and then I'll be dabbing it off with my tissue, and it creates quite a textured look. It's literally just scrunched up paper towel, just dabbing it off randomly. And if you dab too much off, you can always go back and put some more on. When you do sort of textures like this, you end up you start to create shapes in the painting, and I find it gets my imagination going, and then I want to create more objects in the painting that as they sort of emerge in a random sort of way. And so now I am going to go over the feathers. I've been over them with sort of black liner pen, and now I'm going over them with white gesso, and you'll see it's smudging a little bit, which I actually like. I like the fact it's making it a bit grey, but if you didn't want that, you'd have to make sure that you used a liner that was completely permanent and waterproof, and then you wouldn't get that. But it depends what you're going for, but I actually like the grey that comes out from it. Pointing at an area that I quite like. It sort of looks a bit like rock, and I'm not sure whether to make it darker or not. But what I've done is I've picked up some hand sanitizer and some Q-tips, and this is a bit of an experiment because I've heard that you can lift acrylic using hand sanitizer, and so that's what I am going to attempt to do. And yes, it might work, but it might not. At this stage I just didn't know, but I was going to have a go, so there. I was quite delighted that it worked, and I now proceed to go around using it to sort of create a glow around my angel. I'll let you into a secret. This is about the 10th time that I have recorded this end piece, so I'm going to be really quick, and I'm just going to say thank you for watching. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the techniques that I showed, and maybe have a go at them yourself. Do check out the other artists. They've got some great videos along this theme. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they've done with it actually. So I will say goodbye for now, and do leave a comment or a thumbs up, and do come back soon. Okay, bye for now.